Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS. In this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 21st March 2021. And this Sunday edition will be very important regarding science and technology. So please don't miss this Sunday's session. So now let us see 7 articles which are very much relevant to UPSC. Okay, so let's get started with our discussion and let us see first article. Title says Niti Aayog vision for Great Nicobar ignores tribal and ecological concern. So already background regarding this article we studied I think 1 week ago. So we already studied that Niti Aayog, which is mainly coming up with some programs, developmental projects in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Right? So this article mainly talking about some ecological concerns and as well as tribal concerns regarding this Niti Aayog vision. So this article mainly focusing on Great Nicobar Island. So let us see first map. So I tried to attach a map regarding Andaman and Nicobar. So this is Andaman part and this is Nicobar. Okay. So Andaman and Nicobar mainly divided by 10-degree channel that you have to remember. So if you see from top to bottom, that is from north to south, we have North Andaman. Okay. We have Middle Andaman and we have here Little Andaman. Okay. So this is about Andaman and this Middle Andaman here it is present and here we have South Andaman. So this South Andaman and here Little Andaman mainly divided by Duncan, okay, Duncan channel that is present between South Andaman and here Little Andaman. So if you talk about here Nicobar Islands, so here these are mainly formed because of coral reefs, okay, so these are mainly coral formation. And if you're talking about this article mainly focusing on one important bay, that is Galtia Bay. So this Galtia Bay mainly located here near Indira Point. So now let us try to talk about this article. So what are details which are given in this article? We are going to see that. So first let us see context why it is in news. So if you see context, it mainly says that Wildlife Board denotifies Galatia Bay Sanctuary to build port as well as trade zone. So recently we came up with some infrastructure projects or development projects in this Andaman and Nicobar. So in Nicobar area they are going for mainly building of port and as well as some trade zone. So that is mainly happening in this Galatia Bay. So this Galatia Bay, it is one of important sanctuary. So because of this, whenever we need to go for any infrastructure development or any port development, anything in that area, so we need to denotify that, okay. So because of this, now Wildlife Board identifies or denotifies this Galatia Bay Sanctuary to build port and trade. So that means permission which is given by Wildlife Board. So if you see some details regarding this article, it mainly says that recent development in Little Andaman Islands that mainly constitute more than 150 square kilometers of land which is being made available for phase 1 development, okay. So for this phase 1, this land which is available, that is about more than 150 square kilometers. And Niti Aayog came up with pilot, holistic and sustainable vision for Great Nicobar Islands and even southernmost of this Andaman and Nicobar group, okay. So if you're talking about this southernmost of this Andaman and Nicobar group, so that is Galatia Bay, which mainly amounts 18% of 910 square kilometers and it covers a quarter of its coastline. And overall plan mainly envisages to use about 244 square kilometers and major portion that is being covered by pristine forest and as well as some coastal system that is present in this Galatia Bay. And if you're talking about this phase 1 construction, so about 22 square kilometers airport complex they are coming up with, and also they are mainly coming up with some transshipment port at South Port, and as well as they will coming up with some parallel to coast mass. They are going for rapid transport system and they want to come up with free trade zone in that area, and also warehousing complex on southern western coast. So these are some important plans under this phase 1 development. And what are issues here? So first important and foremost issue here is National Board for Wildlife. It denotified the entire Galatia Bay Wildlife Sanctuary. So if you're talking about importance of this Galatia Bay, it is one of important India's national marine turtle action plan. So here we are going for conservation of turtles, especially we are going for conservation of leatherback turtles. And next one is it is also UNESCO World Heritage Site. and it is also one of best preserved tropical forest in world, and it is of one of important coastal maritime diversity areas, and it is also important marine turtle habitats that are seen in this area. And this area will also comes under coastal regulation zone 1, that means maximum protection will be given to this area. But even recently here environment ministry expert committee approved zero extent of ecologically sensitive zone, that is in this ecologically sensitive zone we need to go for zero trade or zero development. So these are some important issues. So this Nicobar Islands are mainly famous for two important species. First one is giant leatherback turtles. So because of this prominent nesting sites of this giant leatherback turtles, so this area declared as wildlife sanctuary in year 1997. And next important species here is Nicobar Megaport. It is a globally endangered bird, and it is mainly seen unique to Nicobar Islands. And even Wildlife Institute of India documented that 90% of this ground nesting of these birds, they are mainly present within 30 meters from shore. So because of this, whenever we are going for developmental projects during this coastline, so that will be mainly affect this habitats of this Nicobar Megaport and also habitats of this leatherback turtles. Okay, so these are some important points which are discussed in this article. And now let us see next article. Title says India-US resolve to intensify defense cooperation. So this article mainly talking about defense cooperation between India and US. So this article is very much important regarding international relations and also defense, which comes under GS3 and also GS2. So now let us try to talk about this article in a great detail. So now let us see first context. Here context mainly says that India resolved to identify defense cooperation with US Central Command in Florida and US commands in Indo-Pacific region and Africa. Okay, so India mainly come up with resolving of defense cooperation between US Central Command that is located in Florida and US command which are located in Indo-Pacific region and even Africa. So if you see some details regarding this defense cooperation, so we can talk partnership between India and US. It is as a central pillar for American policy for Indo-Pacific. So if you want to maintain freedom of navigation and as well as to contain increased presence of China in this Indo-Pacific, US mainly needs India. So in this way, partnership between India and US, it mainly called as a central pillar for American policy. And in this way, they also acknowledge fundamental agreements between India and USA. They includes LEMOVA, COMCAS and as well as BECA. And this in this meeting, they already reviewed wide gamut of bilateral and as well as multilateral exercises, and they agreed to come up with enhanced cooperation regarding fields of defense between India and US. And this one is other areas. They also talked about oil spills, environmental disasters and drug trafficking, illegal and unreported, unregulated fishing in Indo-Pacific. So these are some important areas they also talked in this. And if you are talking about this bilateral discussion, they covered military to military engagement like services between military to military, information sharing and as well as cooperation in emerging sectors like defense and mutual logistic support. So these are some areas they are mainly discussed in this bilateral discussions. And if you are talking about China angle also discussed, so there is increased military activities of China in the South China Sea, right? So because of this, it mainly impacts freedom of navigation in this area. So in this way, whenever India and US defense partnership that are growing in coming years, so that partnership will be helpful mainly to contain in Chinese activities in this Indo-Pacific region. Okay. And also India is very good for multilateral cooperation with defense because of some important characteristics or unique features of India. So India mainly follows freedom of navigation, freedom of overflight and impended lawful commerce, and India will mainly adheres to international laws. So because of this, US also coming forward to increase or to improve defense cooperation between India and US. So this is gist of this article. I hope it is clear. And now let us see next article. Title says Petri dish people. So this article mainly talking about recent research which mainly published. So in this research, it mainly says that in early formation of embryo. So so how this embryo is formed first. So we have egg, right? So whenever egg is there, whenever sperm which is coming and which is attaching to this egg, what happened that process is called as fertilization. Fertilization means whenever sperm which comes and which joins with egg, that process is called as fertilization. So after fertilization, that led to formation of embryo. So before formation of embryo, there will be doubling of cells that is seen. Okay. So in this formation of embryo, before step will be blastocyte. Okay. So in this blastocyte, it is mainly 8 celled, okay, 8 cell structure that will be formed. So after this blastocyte, that will lead to formation of embryo. So in this blastocyte stage, they now many researchers, they are doing some research in this human blastocyte, and they started to induct human embryonic stem cells and as well as some induced pluripotent cells into this blastocyst, such that they are mainly going to do some research regarding this petri dish people. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that researchers, they have induced human stem cells to self-organize and to form a human blastocyte. Okay, and they are introducing mainly human embryonic stem cells and also some induced pluripotent cells. So this is research which is done by one group. Okay, and another group mainly introducing this adult skin cells, that is fibroblast, into this blastocyte. So this is about this petri dish people. And now let us try to talk about some facts regarding what are these stem cells. So basics regarding these stem cells will be important regarding prelims. So if you're talking about these stem cells, they are special human cells, and these stem cells, they are able to develop into many different cell types. They serve as a repair system for our body. That means if at all any injury that happen, so we are going for regeneration of cells again in some body parts, right? So in this way, these stem cells will act as repair system of our body. So if you're talking about further details of the stem cells, they can be isolated from body in different ways depending upon type of tissue. For example, if you're talking about blood stem cells, they are mainly taken from donors, bone marrow. And if you want to isolate this blood stem cells, we can isolate from blood which is present in umbilical cord. Okay. And if you're talking about types of adult stem cells, we have mainly 5 types. Okay. First one is hemopoietic stem cells. Next one is mesenchymal stem cells, neural stem cells, epithelial stem cells, and skin stem cells. So these are some important facts that you should remember regarding this article. And now let us see next article. Title says narrow core mass. So this article mainly talking about details of Mars core. Okay, so these details are provided by NASA InSight. Okay, NASA InSight, that is spacecraft, gives us information regarding core of Mars. So this article will be very important regarding prelims and even means. So regarding prelims, you need to know some facts regarding what is this NASA's InSight spacecraft. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So this article is important regarding science and technology, which comes in the GS paper 3. So now let us see first context. NASA's InSight spacecraft, which is located on Mars. So this InSight spacecraft estimated the size of Martian core. So this study mainly says that Mars core, it is about half of size of Earth's core. Okay. And this mainly measures about 1810 to 1860 kilometers. And this core mainly composed of iron, sulfur, and even some lighter elements like oxygen are present in core of Mars. So what will be significance of this study? So whenever we are going for identification of Mars and what are components which are present in that Mars, then it will be very much helpful to understand how this Mars evolved. And now let us see some facts here. So InSight, it is part of NASA's Discovery program. And if you're talking specific facts regarding this NASA's InSight, it is a first mission to peer deep beneath Martian surface. So this mission mainly studying planet's interior by measuring heat output, and as well as it is listening to Mars quakes. So how earthquakes are formed on Earth, in the same way Mars quake will also be formed. So because of this, whenever we are going for studying of heat, temperature, as well as the Mars quakes, we can identify some details regarding this Martian deep. Okay, and it uses mainly seismic waves which are generated during this Mars quake, and as well as it will go for mapping of deep interior. Okay, And if you see what is significance of this mission, so this mission will helps better to understand how these rocky planets, including Earth, they were created. And it mainly works on terrestrial planet explorer, such that it will address fundamental issues of planetary solar system science. And these insights will also measure planets' vital signs like pulses, that is seismology. It also deals with reflex, that is precision tracking, and temperature, that is heat flow probe. Okay, and next one is this mission will also understand the process that shaped rocky planets of inner solar system, which include more than 4 billion years ago. So these are some important facts that you should remember regarding this NASA's insights. And now let us see next article. So this is somewhat interesting article, and you might think, why ma'am include this article? So this article mainly talking about what are reasons behind hum of hummingbird. So as you know, hummingbird, it is one of smallest bird, right? So whenever it is collecting nectar from flowers, etc., then what happen, it will make some noise, that is humming noise. So because of this humming noise, the name of this bird that is came from this humming noise, that is hummingbird. So if you see whatever we are going to discuss now, that is some advances in science and technology. So because of advances in our science and technology, we came up to know what is reason behind this humming noise of this bird. Okay, so because of this, whenever you are writing about answers regarding science and technology and advances, you can write because of improvement or advancement in our science and technology. Recently, we also found out what is reason behind this humming sound of this bird. Okay, so in this way, this article is important whenever you are writing mains answer. Okay, so because of this, I tried to attach this article also for discussion. And now let us see this article in a great detail. So if you see context, new study published in journal, that is Life. So this study mainly find out reason behind this humming sound of this hummingbird. So wings beat rapidly at 40 beats per second. So because of this beats, that led to generation of humming sound. Okay, so in this study they mainly used some high resolution cameras, and also they used about 2000 microphones. So team from Netherlands, they studied hummingbirds drinking sugar water from a fake flower in a special chamber, and they used high-speed cameras and as well as 2000 microphones to identify what is reason behind this humming sound of this bird. And finally they found that this hum sound mainly generated because of pressure between top sides and downside of wings. So this humming sound is generated by bird's wing. So whenever bird wings are moving like this, so what happened, there will be generation of some pressure difference. So because of this pressure difference that is generated between top sides and underside of wings, that led to creation of this sound, humming sound. And because of some pressure difference between top side and underside of wings, that will lead to generation of some strong upward aerodynamic force. And this aerodynamic force, it is responsible for this humming sound. So if you are talking about some facts regarding this hummingbird gets its name from sound it makes when it hovers in front of flowers to feed. Okay, so these are some important things that you should remember regarding this article. And now let us see next article. So before seeing this article, I want to make a small announcement. We came up with this current affairs package. So if you are preparing for UPSC 2022, and this course will be very useful to clear UPSC 2022. So how this course is useful? So in this course, we are mainly focusing on current affairs and also mains answer writing practice. So if you are preparing for UPSC 2022, you need to prepare at least 1.5 years current affairs. So if you are joining this course now, then it will be useful to cover 1.5 years current affairs in a comprehensive manner. And if you are talking about this mains answer writing practice, many students, they ignore about this mains answer writing practice. So because of ignoring this mains answer writing practice, finally they will end with failing in UPSC mains. So in UPSC mains, if you want to attempt all those questions within time limit, you need to focus on how to improve your answer writing skills from day one of your preparation. Okay, so because of this, we are mainly focusing on this mains answer writing practice. And if you join this course, we also provide you prelims test along with video solutions. So in this course is exactly focusing on demand of UPSC. So finally, I want to say one thing, please don't take this course as a choice. Please try to join this course as soon as possible and achieve your dream of clearing UPSC. So details of this course are given in description box. So please visit that once. And now let's come back and let us see next article. Title says emerging crisis of obtaining helium in India. So this article mainly talking about helium. So if you see atomic number, that is 2. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So context mainly says that, so here we are going to import helium which is required for India from US. But US which is mainly appearing to set cut off of exports of this helium since 2021. So this is one of important cause of concern. So if you see some facts or details regarding this helium, it is colorless gas, it is odorless, it is tasteless, and it is also inert and noble gas. So what are applications? So this application point of view, you can get questions in your prelims. This helium mainly used for MRI scans, that is magnetic resonance imaging scans, and also it is used in rockets and also even nuclear reactors. And helium, commonly many people know that helium can be used for filling of balloons, right? So that is also one of important application of helium that we all know. And if you see about this helium in India, so because of cutting down of exports of helium by US to India, so now we are mainly focusing on how to get this helium from other countries here. So if you are talking about helium reserves in India, we also have helium reserves. So recently in Bakreshwar, which is located near Santiniketan, so geographers mainly found some water boiling naturally in a small tank here. And in this water boiling, it is also releasing some natural gas. So they analyzed this natural gas and finally they found that it contains 1.8% of helium. And next one is real Rajmahal volcanic basin. So it is mainly located around this Barkeshwar nearby Tantolai, which is located in present Jharkhand. So in this area also there is natural hot water with natural gas which is emanating from it. And recently if we study that way, they found about 1.6% of helium that is present. So in this way, recently Atomic Energy Commission arranged for a project to be part of this newly started Variable Energy Cyclostorm Center. So recently Atomic Energy Commission also take forward step mainly to do some research regarding this helium reserves, because if at all this helium which is not imported from other countries or like USA, we cannot go for this advanced technology like rockets, and it is very useful for MRI scans. It is one of important diagnostic tool to diagnose many diseases, right? And we can use this as a rocket, we can use it in rocket, and also some important applications of helium are present here. So if you're talking about this, because of findings in Jharkhand in this way, so what happened, whenever we are going for isolating of that helium, then we can produce our helium which is used in our India. There is no need of importing here. Okay, so we observe vast reservoir of helium in Rajmahal volcanic belt. So if you're talking about target, how much amount of helium which is required for India, so India requires about 70 million cubic meters for a year. But if you're talking about reserves which are present in India, and recently we found, so the helium which is present in this area which exceeds our target. Okay, so in this way, this Rajmahal volcanic basin, it is one of storehouse of helium that had been not trapped from years. So now we are going for some researches and we can go for isolating of this helium, then we can use for purpose. Okay, different applications in India. So this is gist of this article. I hope it is clear. And now let us see next article. Title says Indian monsoon 25 million years ago resembled present day Australia. So this article mainly talking about Indian monsoons. Okay, so this is one of important topic under GS1 geography. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So if you see details, they are mainly highlighted that about 180 million years ago, India separated from supercontinent, that is Gondwana. Okay, so earlier we have supercontinent and as well as super landmass that is present. So we have super landmass and water it is present. Okay, so this super landmass is called as Panacea, and we have Panthalassa, right? So water or super ocean is called as Panthalassa and land is called Panacea. So this Panacea divided into two parts, Angara and Gondwana. So if you are talking about Angara, it mainly includes North America and Europe. Okay, and Europe, and as well as some parts of Asia. And if you are talking about this Gondwana land, it mainly contains South America, Africa, and also Indo-Australia, and as well as Antarctica. So these are parts of Gondwana land. So what happened from 180 million years ago? So India and Australian plate, they detached from this Gondwana land and they started moving towards northward. Okay, so they made journey of about 9,000 kilometers and they finally joined this Eurasian plate. So after joining this Eurasian plate, that led to formation or upliftment of Himalayas, right? We already know about this. So subcontinent mainly moved from southern hemisphere to northern hemisphere. That means it crossed equator. So as we know, monsoon mainly refers to changing of seasonal winds, right? So after crossing equator, because of this Coriolis force, these winds, they start moving towards rightwards. So because of they are moving towards rightwards, that will lead to ample amount of rainfall to Indian subcontinent. So because of this, we call it as monsoons here. Due to changing of latitudes from south to north here, so India also experienced different climatic conditions. So because of this, now this new study mainly tried to map out these variations by studying of some leaf fossils. Okay, so recent data mainly indicates that monsoon, which is mainly dates back 25 million years ago in India. So in this study, team mainly analyzed some morphological characters of fossil leaves. So these fossil leaves collected from 4 areas. First one is Deccan Volcanic Province. Next one is East Garo Hills of Meghalaya. And next one is Gurma Mine in Rajasthan. And next one is Makum Coalfields in Assam. So in these 4 areas, fossils of leaves are collected and they found to be from different geological ages. Okay, that helped mainly to study climates during 65, 57, 54, 25 million years ago. And they studied mainly some leaf morphological characters like apex, base, shape, etc. And ecologically, they found that, so based on some climate change also, there is change in morphological characters of leaves that is found. And this ecologically tuned with prevailing climatic conditions such that these leaves will adapt to all seasons. Okay, so finally results of this study mainly says that fossil leaves from India, they were adapted to an Australian type of monsoon and it is not based on current monsoon type. So it also said that in monsoons of India, they are mainly dates back to 25 million years ago. Okay, and this research also reconstructed temperature, and according to this reconstructed temperature, they mainly found that the temperature of India is warm, that is mainly based on from tropical to subtropical climate, and temperature ranges about 16.3 degrees to 21.3 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is just all this article. I hope it is clear, and you have to open your NCERT and you have to read about this Indian monsoons for sure to understand this concept in a very clear manner. Okay, and there is also one article in your science and technology column regarding black holes. So we discussed number of times regarding this black hole, so I didn't take this topic for today's discussion. And now let us say today's essay. Today is Sunday, so essay topic is there for you. So today's essay is crisis is not of employment policy but shrinking job opportunities. So recently employment, it is highly in news. Different states are coming up with different bills regarding saving or regarding reservation of employment opportunities in private sector for their locals. So because of this, I came up with this topic, and this is one of important topic that you have to write essay, and you should write essay not more than 750 words, and you have to write essay within 1.5 hours. Okay, so by this we are concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll this current affairs package. Thank you so much.